as time flies. 13 weeks college football. I was just talking about it like it was yesterday. 12 weeks NFL football. Finally got no undefeated teams left. College basketball, NBA, you name it, we've got it. So,
3, 2, 1. And we got Thanksgiving next week.
There you go. All right, guys. Scott Matthews back at you here with the one and only Get the Edge. Wow, a lot of stuff going on in the sports world right now. I'm pretty jacked up. I'm sure you guys are too. We got a lot of things happening between NBA basketball right now. They're playing that tournament, those tournament games. We got college basketball heating up. We got, obviously, football heating up. A lot of good things to talk about on the show. My main man is finally back. He missed last week. He wasn't feeling well, but he looks bigger and better than ever. The CEO of the Sports Profits. Welcome back, Teddy Brooks.
Yeah, man. It was a rough week, but I was watching the film and watching the clips and everything, and it is so much better to be in the studio. I do not like the vibe of being on Zoom. It's not the same.
I agree with you. It's good being in here, good energy, and hey, professionally set up. We look like we know what we're doing, actually.
The podcast junkies do a great job. Shout out to them, and shout out to our producer, Benjamin.
All right, and here he is, my other co-host, my partner in crime down there on the end, Robert Graham's favorite friend when it comes to going to the stores and buying those shirts. One and only TK, Tommy King Jr.
Yeah, man.
What's going on?
Christmas coming around, too. I'm going to have to go pick up a couple new shirts.
I think it's Christmas right now on there.
Well, I got I should have one. Next one, I'll wear some lights on it for you in the next show.
You're gonna have to wear like the ornaments and all kinds of crazy stuff. You're probably going to have the Santa hat, the Robert Graham Santa hat, the whole 9 yards.
Got to do it. I mean, I'm getting ready for a big week. I promised the sweep last week. I didn't get it, 2-2 overall, but I'm bringing out the brooms this week.
We all went 2-2 last week, huh?
Yeah. That's all right. Listen, you know what? I had a shot at going 4-0, believe it or not. I had the over on that total in college basketball on the Marshall game, and the guy dropped the ball in the end zone wide open. That game would have went over on that.
Real quick, when you said there's no more undefeated teams left, what sport were you talking about?
NFL.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, college football.
College football, we got a couple.
But I got to talk
including your boys, Indiana.
I got to talk about something way before football. How about that fiasco? I'm not even going to call it a fight, because I don't even know what to call it, but it was like I couldn't believe, like Joe Buck said on the home run by Kurt Gibson, I can't believe what I'm seeing. That fight between Tyson and Jake Paul. What were your thoughts on that?
I was going to say the best part of the fight was in the beginning of the fight when he had his ass out before the show. That was the most entertaining part of the fight.
And you know what the crazy thing? His son interviewed him. That was his son.
That was his son?
He gave him a big kiss at the end, and then all of a sudden he walks away and his ass is hanging out. But what about the fight itself? I mean, it was a joke.
Yeah, that was a joke. I mean,
I don't even want to say fight.
I could say fixed. Could we say that? I don't know if it was fixed, but I mean, that was just weird. Who would even thought about going a distance?
I don't like the word fixed.
Well, come on, that fight should never. Jake Paul should have clobbered him and knocked him out in the first, second round. He just felt sorry for him and.
If you looked at it from the get-go, I mean, you got a 27-year-old guy. He is training. All right, he's not a world-class champion, but he's still in good shape. He's training. He's probably a lot stronger. You got a 59-year-old guy. You saw it right away. He was 69 in the second round, basically. And within a minute of the second round, he was out, winded.
So I don't disagree, but I did read and see some theories and watch some videos of I think it was either the first or the second round, Tyson was going at him pretty hard, and Paul kind of grabbed onto him, hugged him in, and said some words to him. And a lot of people were saying that Paul was telling him to take it easy. Now, was he telling him to take it easy because he's like, listen, if you keep punching me this hard, I'm going to have to start punching you hard too? Right. Or did he actually think Tyson could hurt him? I don't know which one it was, but he was flat-footed. And, you know, he does have a history of biting his glove, but some people were saying
it was crazy.
That he was biting his glove to remind himself not to hit Paul. There were times where he had a punch and he just didn't take the punch.
Yeah, he had a couple of shots to take it at him, and I didn't do it.
My main question was the outcome. Did it surprise you at all? I didn't think it surprised me whatsoever.
It surprised me it went the distance. I mean, all the bets in Vegas you saw, I don't know if you saw Circa, they had so much action on Mike Tyson. This would have been one of the biggest losses if Tyson would have won.
The guy threw 40 punches. That's it, in 8 rounds. Even though they're two.
And most of them were in the first two.
40 punches.
How about the fight before? The two girls danced around. That was the best fight.
Dynamite.
She actually won, I thought.
Wow, that was a great fight. Talk about it. That was a war. That wasn't
that
even
was
a
a war.
fight.
They were throwing left and right, left and right. That was one of the best fights of the night.
That made the whole card because if you went there just for that main fight, you would have been they might have been throwing chairs in the ring. Who knows? They were booing as it was, but yeah, the women's fight was phenomenal.
You know how much tickets were for that fight?
Well, at the end, believe it or not, we checked just before the start of the fight, and you could be up in the upper deck for $35.
Oh wow!
All the way up.
Oh.
But down below, and I'm talking like an hour before the fight. So that's why.
What were you
going
to say about tickets?
No, I was just
Oh,
curious.
just a question?
Yeah, I just was curious if you guys.
Oh, early in advance, way in advance, they were very expensive
Very
for lower.
expensive.
Yeah. And VIPs only. You know how it goes with the VIPs. So they buy the ticket for them. They give them away, and they got plenty of money to pay for them anyways. But I wouldn't have paid anything to go see a fight like that.
I wouldn't either.
No.
How about the UFC this week? How about Jones, man? Did you see that kick?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. He just took him right out.
Yeah,
Took him out.
that was powerful. Right to the right. I think he broke his ribs.
I think he broke his rib. I mean, he kicked him so hard. That was a crazy fight. I mean, he was out in seconds.
Well, that's what's great about the sports world, guys, because there's so many good things going on. You can really entertain yourself. Doesn't mean you have to be in action, because we're not in action for all this stuff. We didn't bet the the fight between Tyson and Paul. I mean, I could have easily laid the 2.5 to 1. I know people that did it. They put pretty serious money into Paul to win that fight as a decision, obviously. And, UFC was great. You had some good fights. Trump showed up. He got a standing ovation.
Standing ovation walking in.
Did you see that with his whole
great.
crew?
That was
Came
good.
with his kids. He came with Elon
His
Musk.
crew is what a crew. Elon Musk,
Yeah.
RFK.
Yeah.
They even had the country singer Jelly Roll in there. He wasn't with them, but he was sitting right next to them.
Oh,
Sitting right next to Kid Rock.
It was star-studded, man.
A lot of celebrities showed up for that, big-time card in Madison Square Garden. But, when you're in the Mecca, you're going to get all the big names showing up.
Did you see all the football players doing his dance after their touchdowns?
Yeah.
That was pretty funny. It's funny how things change over time. 4 years ago, you would never imagine that, and now it's spreading like wildfire.
I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit, about the NBA. I don't know if you guys have been watching it real tightly. I have, obviously. I've been doing pretty well with it early in the season, catching some good numbers. I think this time of the year, there's some great opportunities out there because a lot of players in and out of the lineup. If you notice, like teams like Phoenix, they got like 3 starters out, a couple of guys banged up. They've been going, the lines have been adjusting. They played Orlando the other night. That line, they couldn't put a Band-Aid on it deep enough to stop the bleeding. It went from Phoenix 1.5 up to Orlando minus 4.5. It didn't matter. Orlando won. But have you been noticing some big line differences, early in the season where you're taking advantage of these mistakes with a lot of players out of the lineup? They can't adjust them right?
Yeah, I've been doing it in the NBA. I love the NBA. I know Teddy doesn't like the NBA at all, but you can take advantages of, like you said, you got players out. Orlando had one of their star players come back in that game. That's why the line moved up. They blew them out.
Yeah.
I had Orlando as well that night. But college basketball,
6 in a row they played.
College basketball is coming as well. But NBA, you can definitely take advantage of some of these numbers. I mean, we said it last week. A lot of these numbers are very high in the NBA. I mean, these teams are laying 9, 10-plus points. And they're blowing them out, too. So
Is there things you look for, like earlier, you make adjustments as the season goes on, like the rest of us do, like with the, with the spreads, like, you see a line now and you say, maybe a month from now you see the same 2 teams play and you look at it, you say, nah, I'm not touching this one because I just don't see the advantage like I caught on the earlier one, things like that you look for?
Well, of course, I do my power rating system in the NBA, college, all of them. I use my own power ratings. But you got to look at these new players coming to the NBA. They're just playing, 3-4 weeks now. It takes them a little while to gel together. Come December, they're going to come together and start playing.
What about you, Teddy? Is there anything you look at like earlier and say, this looks much more interesting to me maybe a month from now when you see the same 2 teams playing against each other, that you say, nah, this game the number's not right on this one?
So I'm gonna switch it up a little bit on you. I actually do that exact thing, but for hockey.
Okay.
So I look for, I don't really bet the NBA. I don't touch it besides playoffs.
Okay.
But in hockey, what I'll do is I'll look for a team that is trending in the right direction, and I'll say, okay, they're playing Team A. Let's say I like Team A is playing Team B tonight or tomorrow night, and they're minus 130, Team A. In February or March, this team's going to be minus 160, minus 170, because the odds makers take a little bit of time to catch up to when there's a really good team formulating.
Okay.
So I'll look for lower lines this time of year, and then later on in the year I might have to play them on the puck line because the line gets so inflated.
Yeah, well, there's always, like there's always teams like Winnipeg. I'll just throw one example out when I'm jumping back to hockey with you. But Winnipeg started out like a house of fire, so obviously, they're not going to be playing at that level where they're going to be 16 out of the first, winning 16 out of 19 games. So sooner or later, they're going to tail down a little bit. So you might catch some different prices as the season progresses. Same with the Panthers. Any really good team, they go on these runs and then they start getting the lines raised up on them because the odds makers don't want to make it too easy, obviously, for these better teams, going against weaker opponents, making short prices. But yeah, I mean, that's why they have these long seasons, and that's what makes it so difficult when it comes to betting these games because it changes so quickly.
Yeah, if you look at the NBA, the top 5 teams against the spread: Cleveland, Golden State, Brooklyn, Houston, and Toronto. So some of these teams maybe didn't have great years last year, so now they're coming in having good years. Earlier in the season, the line might have been smaller. Now it's going to be a little bit bigger. And as the year goes on, it's going to change.
Well, who do you think's the best of the East right now? I mean, the Celtics put their stamp last night. I mean, yeah, they were up big and they blew the lead back. But at the end of the day, they won the game, gave Cleveland their first loss in their first 16 games, so 15-1. Celtics, I think now are what, like 13-3 or 12-3. I still think Boston's the team to beat in the East when it comes down to it. What's your
definitely Boston. We said a few weeks ago too. Boston's the team to beat in the NBA.
What about the West? Who would you think?
Oklahoma City.
You like Oklahoma City?
OKC, they're playing decent ball.
That would be your number one choice at this point?
Yeah, but Celtics definitely. They're going to go back-to-back.
You surprised about the Lakers with J.J. Redick, the head coach? They won like 6 straight now. They're 10-4. They're playing pretty good ball.
Yeah, they're playing good out there in the West. The Clippers, they could come around late in the season as well, see what happens with them.
Well, the problem is a lot of teams, like Phoenix right now is banged up. You got a lot of these teams. Denver's not the same as they were. Dallas started out slow. I think Dallas will improve. They crushed somebody last night. I forgot, was it Utah? They won by 40. They were a huge favorite anyway. So there's a lot of good things to look forward to, guys, and that's what we're here for. We're always looking to find those edges and find those teams maybe going on the cusp to start taking advantage of the point spreads and stuff like that.
Real quick, Scotty, to your point, so a team like Boston, who's they're the best team in the NBA. There's not really a question about it.
From top to bottom, I think.
From top to bottom. But the odds makers give them so much love with these lines. They're only 7-8 against the spread.
Right.
Because their lines are going to be so high because the odds makers know that the public's going to be betting on them because everyone knows how good they are.
Well, like, for example...
So you got to watch out for things like that, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Well, for example, last night, that game, what was it, 6.5 against Cleveland?
7. They were up by 20.
It doesn't make sense to give a team that's 15-0 the way Cleveland's playing 6.5 points. Yeah, I can understand why because it's in Boston, and Boston's probably the number one seed. When it comes down to the 82-game season, they'll probably end up, having a better record than Cleveland when it's all said and done. But 6.5 is a lot of points to give away, right?
Yep, that's right.
Under normal circumstances, I mean, if let's say Cleveland was a so-so team, they would have been double digits in that game last night. But they played them well. They came back from an 18-point deficit and they cut it down. They lost by 3 at the end. Anything else in the NBA that's you're looking at? You guys putting out plays? Anything you see it like tonight or anything?
No plays for me tonight in NBA. I'm actually going to play college basketball here tonight. I got a game going later on in the college hoops. But Orlando Magic, they're kind of shocking me as well. I mean,
6 in a row.
Favored on the road tonight against the Clippers, -3. I mean, they're playing good ball, Orlando, right now.
Well,
started off a little rough, but now they had to play her out. But they're starting to move the ball, get the points up there as well.
You know who's playing quietly? They're starting to play a little better. The Knicks are coming around a little bit, not fully, but the Knicks could be a little surprised. I mean, not that they're surprised; they're figured to be in the top 2, 3 or 4 on the East Coast, on the Eastern Conference. So
I don't know what happened to the Sixers, man. They're 2-11 right now. How they're even favored tonight on the road against Memphis? Memphis must be really bad.
Actually, because Memphis, 2 of the key players are out.
Yeah, there's injuries in that game.
John Morant's out, and if I'm not mistaken, let me see. I think John Morant's out. Zach Edey's out. So a couple of their key players are out. That's why Philly, even though with their lineup and the way they're playing, they're still a 3.5-point favorite in that game. But I think we should jump into what we're doing and really rocking and rolling with some college football. What's your thoughts there?
Oh yeah,
college football. Only a few weeks left.
Yeah, I can't believe how fast the season's going by. What do you guys think? I mean, it's kind of crazy, right? Here we are. We're a week away from Thanksgiving. We're 2 weeks away from the end of the college football season, the Army-Navy game, and then we're going into the bowl season. I mean, it just seems like it's going so
It's going to
quick.
be a great playoff, this season. With this new playoff system, it's going to be a nice finish to the season.
I actually have some concerns. So I was talking. Shout out my guy Nick at iCryo in Plantation. He's a sports guy like me, and I go there for some different red light stuff and some cool stuff like that. But anyway, we were talking about it. I didn't realize that you could be the 12th seed in the playoffs, but if you are the winner of your division or your conference, you're getting a bye. Is that accurate?
You know what? I haven't looked at all the different things as far as that goes, but I don't know. Why would you get a bye, though?
So that's what I was asking.
Yeah,
I didn't think.
I don't know why there'd be a
I
bye.
thought it was the top teams in the CFP rankings that were getting
The
the
top
buys.
4.
Right, but from what I'm hearing, it might not be. So we got to look more into that.
Well,
It's gonna be
they might have changed it that all the top 12 teams are under the same umbrella. So whatever happens from 1 to 12, it would fit in for all of them. So they may get a bye, all of those teams. Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying? Like the top 12 will get a bye?
No,
Oh.
I'm saying that. Let's say you're ranked number 4th. Let's say who's number 4 right now? Ohio State or
Penn State.
Penn State. Okay, so let's say you're Penn State. You're number 4, and let's say, or better yet, let's say you're number 7 and you're Ole Miss. I know they're like 10th or 9th, but let's just say you're number 9 Ole Miss, and let's say you win the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna get a bye. Now let's say Ohio State and Penn State, who are both in the same conference, they're both ranked higher than Ole Miss. One of them wins the conference, one of them loses the conference, but they're ranked higher than Ole Miss. They're not going to get a bye.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know all the ins
Here,
and
I
outs
just
and how
looked
they
it
do
up.
it.
The 12
Exactly.
the 12 playoff participants consist of the 5 highest ranked conference champions plus the next 7 highest ranked teams.
Mm-hmm.
So you could be like 13th but still get in because you're a conference champion.
I don't think a bye is going to matter. No one's going to
Yeah.
beat Oregon. Oregon is the winner.
Oregon.
I'm giving
huh?
it right now.
Oh, so
Oregon
you're
wins the national
You're
championship.
I don't think
you're
so.
backing off of Penn State.
I'm backing up. Well, Penn State could be there as well, but injuries in Penn State.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one,
We got
TK.
we got more bets going on this one. We got
Well,
more
hey,
little action. On it?
I don't know about Oregon.
I'll throw my hat in the ring.
Yeah, I don't know about Oregon to
Ohio
win it all.
State.
I think they're going to have some
I'm
tough teams to
I'm
go
gonna
against.
put my stamp, and I'm not gonna give a team,
They didn't look that good last week.
but I'm
They
gonna
didn't play
say
well.
I'm gonna say an SEC team wins the national championship.
Oh, that's not saying too much, right?
Well, let's see if I wonder if there's odds on that. Which conference will win the national championship?
Sure
All right,
is.
we got to get into some plays, guys. I'm jacked up right now, and I know I got some good ones in college football this week. But I want to start it with TK because I know he's done his work. Are you looking at some plays on the Friday or
Well,
Sat-
you always go with my Friday night lights, and I'm going to do another one here this Friday, and it's coming in the San Jose State UNLV game. I'm going to jump on UNLV minus 7.5 in this game current line. San Jose State just 1-5 their last 6 against the spread. They're 0-5 against the spread. Their last 5 against the Mountain West. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do this in this game. Something you do. I'm going to buy it down to 6.5. I'm going to look for UNLV win this game. Probably don't need to buy it, but they should win this game by 14 plus here on Friday night. Start my weekend off with a nice winner with UNLV minus the points.
Okay. Anything else you're looking at in college?
College football on Saturday. I don't know if you guys are using anything on Thursday or Friday, but
No.
I'm going to be using plays on Saturday.
I have a Friday. I'm just gonna come right with you here, TK. I'm on UNLV also. I'm gonna buy it to 6.5 as well. It's been a good season for them. They parted ways with their quarterback. A lot of people thought that would ruin their year. It did not. They just beat San Diego State 41-20. They have a ton of weapons. And the thing is, they're a team that's having trouble covering the spread right now, but so is San Jose State. Both of these teams are 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games. I think UNLV put up, I'm looking at a key matchup here. They both played Fresno. UNLV put up 59 points. San Jose State only put up 10. They've trailed off a little bit, but I'm with you on that one. I think this is a big bounce back game for
I'm
UNLV.
with you. UNLV. I know UNLV does not play well in San Jose State, but that shouldn't even matter. And like I said, I'm looking for a win by 14 plus on that Friday night.
We're going against some trends here, but that's okay.
UNLV ranked in the top 25. They're ranked 24th in the nation, so obviously they're going to want to try to keep their rankings going higher. Yeah, that's an interesting matchup because, San Jose State is no slouch. I mean, they've had a decent season, and they're getting a pretty decent amount of points. But you guys both feel strong about that. What are you rating that game, TK?
4-star. I'm putting this one on Friday night. Like I said, I'm going to start the weekend off with a nice winner.
What about yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I don't do the rankings, but if I were using the TK ranking system, I would say 4 for sure.
All right. Anybody want to jump in on Saturday?
Yeah, I got a
Teddy?
bunch of games on Saturday. I got 3 games on Saturday, but I'll do one. I'll bounce it back to you guys, and I'll come back to me. So first game I'm looking at is 12 o'clock, Ole Miss versus Florida. Florida's coming off a huge win against LSU, crushing their playoff hopes. They're 6-1. Florida's a quiet spread covering team this year. They're 6-1 against the spread. Ole Miss also coming off of a big win, but they're also coming off of a bye, so they got that rest last week. So I just think when you got Florida coming off of this huge emotional win and Ole Miss coming off an emotional win too, but they had a week to rest up, and they dominated Georgia defensively too. Jackson Dart was a little banged up in that game, and they still made it happen. Now, Florida's quarterback, Lagway, is coming back this week, so that's going to look good for Florida. But at the end of the day, I'm thinking Ole Miss just continues this rolling train.
See the offensive per game. Ole Miss averaging 550 yards a game to the Gators 388.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's pretty outstanding.
It's one of the greatest, one of the most potent offenses we've seen in a while, especially out of the SEC, which is traditionally a defensive conference. But yeah, I'm all over. It's a lot of points. It's a lot of points on the road.
Yeah.
But I'm all over Ole Miss.
Especially in the SEC.
It's a lot of points in the SEC on the road, but I think Florida, like I said, I think they're going to be wiped out from that LSU emotional win. Ole Miss has a week off. I think you got Lane Kiffin, probably the better coach here.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm on Ole Miss. I'm going to buy it to 9.5.
What else you got?
All right, so I got.
Give us another one. Then we'll jump to me.
I got I'll save my best bet for last, but I got Rutgers versus Illinois. I'm looking at a bunch of trends in this game. Rutgers has lost 13 of its last 15 at 14. 13 out of their last 14 November games at home. Illinois won 4 out of their last 5 against non-ranked teams. Rutgers hasn't covered in each of its last 9 games as a dog. I mean, there are so many trends. Illinois 5-1 against the spread on the road. They're 4-2 against the spread against Rutgers. They just snapped their 2-game losing streak, beating Michigan State really handily. And I think they keep this going. They've been outstanding against the spread this year, and I don't see any reason for that to stop. It's sitting at -2.
I'm showing 1.
-1. Yeah, I just take the money line in this scenario. I don't mess around with the point or two.
So you like Illinois on the money line?
Yeah, I'm just taking them on the money line. I'll save my best bet for last.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm surprised you guys didn't jump in on this one because this is a team that I probably made more money with this year in college football than any other team by far.
I saved it for you.
I'm jumping back on the bandwagon.
I knew it was coming.
I stayed off it the last 2 weeks, and I was smart because the last 2 weeks they didn't cover. And they played, so-so game last week. They got the job done. The bottom line is I'm jumping all over Indiana. They're playing against Ohio State. I just can't give this team 14 points. I'm sorry, people. I think this is a gift. A 10-0 team that's playing at this caliber. Here's some numbers for you. 461 yards per game on offense. Same basically as Ohio State's. Yeah, you could tell me Ohio State play better teams, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, this team is moving the ball. They're making things happen. They're allowing only 278 yards on defense, pretty much the same as Ohio State. They're allowing about 270. But they're averaging 44 points a game. Yeah, they didn't do it last week, but everyone has to have a down week, in football. You can't just constantly blow out people week after week after week the whole year. And Indiana was doing that. So I love the 14 points in this game. I think this game's going to be a lot closer. The talent of Indiana's this year, repeat, this year. In the past, they had no shot against Ohio State. I wouldn't even have touched a game like this. But I think this year, under these circumstances, with this much on the line, I think this game's going to be a close game. I see this game being within 7 points, and I'll take that 14. Even if it's 13.5, I'm going to buy it to 14. I'll take the double digits. They've been doing right by me all year. Let's hope they continue to do right by me on Saturday.
Where
Indiana.
Where do you move if Indiana wins this game? Where do you move them to in the rankings?
Indiana would probably, well, depending on what's above them, does obviously.
Right.
They're either going to move. They're going to maybe move a notch or so, but they're not going to go too much. Maybe they jump to 4. Maybe they go to 3. Maybe they don't. It depends.
Now, if they lose this game, do you think it takes them out of the playoff race?
Oh, you know what? It depends on the way they do lose the game. If it's a close game, I can't see them dropping from 5 and getting out of the top 12, especially the way they played all year. If this game is a total massacre and Ohio State blows them out by 28 points or 35 and just crushes them like 49 or whatever, or 42, then I could see them maybe falling below the Mendoza or the top 12. But I think they're going to stay in the game. I think they can give them all they can handle. If they show up on the offense, I think it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day, and I love the dog in this one. And one other game I'm jumping on is a best bet, and then I'll kick it over to UTK. I like UCF. I really like them in this spot against West Virginia. Last week, me, TK, Teddy, myself, and our 8 best friends could have ran through West Virginia. They allowed 49 points. They looked terrible on their defense. They just couldn't stop Baylor at all. I like UCF. They had a week off to prepare for this game. They played a very good game the week prior against Arizona State. They could have won that game. They really should have won that game. They lost 35-31. I think they have enough talent, and this line is showing it, because there's no real reason why UCF should be a favorite against West Virginia and West Virginia. I could see West Virginia being a 1.5 or even a 2-point small favorite. I don't understand the logic on this game. I'm going to go with the logic. I think that the right side is UCF in this game. I think that week off is going to keep them focused. That terrible showing last week for West Virginia, I think that's going to stay on them this week. I think UCF can pour a lot of points up. I actually think this total looks excellent at 63 to go over as well. But I'm definitely taking UCF -3. I'll leave it at 3. Don't go above 3. If it goes to 3.5 or moves up to 4, which it may, if it goes a little lower, then that's even better. But right now, I'd lock in at -3. I like UCF to win by 7 to 14 points. Boom.
Boom.
Yeah, they just allow. I just don't see. I see the defense getting eaten up alive. I think UCF has a powerful enough offense. If Baylor could do it, I think UCF can do it.
Well, just for you, I'm going to stay away from Indiana because I derailed them a couple of weeks ago and took them off their spread streak. So I'm staying away from that
you know
game.
what? You're following a good team. You believe in them. They're 10-0. I mean, listen, they're not going to crush everyone all the time. I mean, they got the job done. They won. That's the name of the game.
They got the job
name
done.
of the game is you want teams that can find ways to win. We've talked about this a zillion times. You get these shit teams. They find ways to drop games and lose games. You got to find the teams that you feel comfortable with, that you can put your money and back them, and have a shot to win with them. Not a team that can blow it for you.
You guys see their coach got the extension, 8 years. I don't know how much it was. We got an 8-year extension mid-season.
All about winning, coach?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Google me, coach.
All right.
Google me. I win.
I got one more I'm going to talk, but I want to kick it back to you. I think you had a Saturday game.
Yeah, I got 2 Saturday games. I'm actually going to play them both in the SEC and both away teams. First time I've done that in a while, play a couple away teams.
Okay.
I'm going to start with this Texas A&M Auburn game. I'm going to jump on Texas A&M. I think the line right now is 2.5 and 46.5. I'm going to take Texas A&M minus the points. They're 4-2 their last 6 against the spread on the road versus Auburn. Auburn just 2-6 against the spread versus a team with a winning record. I said I'm going to lay the points, but I'm actually going to play this one on the money line. Texas A&M 8-1 their last 9 straight up. I'm going to play them on the money line here, minus to 130, and get a nice win with them with A&M on Saturday evening here. And then
that game scares me. I got to be honest with you. I'm not saying you're not making the right call, but that game kind of scares me. I think Auburn on offense and defense can hang around. That line is a little shaky to me. Only 2.5, but
it opened up at 1 and went up to 2.5. But
yeah.
I played a money line on this one. Like I said, it's only minus 130 on the money line. Just laid a 130 with Texas A&M on the road.
Yeah, they're quietly playing great football this year. I mean, no doubt about it. They're finding ways to win, and they got a nice program. But they're not as powerful to me on the road as they are at home. When you got that 12th man in that stadium, it makes them very tough.
Yep.
But you like how you rating it?
I'm 4 stars. I got one more game in the SEC. Funny, both games in my college are going to be in the SEC. I'm going to jump on Vandy +8, LSU current line -8, and I think the over-under is like 53. I'm going to take the points with Vandy +8. Vandy 4-1 against the spread their last 5 road games, 8-3 against the spread to get their last 11 overall. 6-1 against the spread against a SEC opponent. I'm not going to say they're going to get the win, but 8 points. Looking for them to lose by a field goal in this game. Get paid late evening Saturday as well. Vandy plus the points.
When you do a game like this, I'm just curious. When you do a matchup like this, what's the main factor for you making the decision? Is it these trends that are overwhelming in one direction, or is it the numbers that when you plug it in, you see a certain number, so you think that number's?
Well, I know a lot of guys watch the show and they send comments. Oh, you're only playing trends. You're only playing angles.
That's what I was just.
I do a lot of other stuff in there. I mean, just throwing trends out here on the show to tell you a little bit where we like them by. But I do a power rating system, and that's what I look by. When my number's off by 2-3 points, I'm jumping on that game. I think you do something similar with your power ratings. But that's how we do our power ratings. I'm throwing trends out at you on these games. But my main way to play these games is my power rating system that I've done for over 30 years. So
I'm going to ask you the same question.
Yeah,
I mean, when you look at these games, are you focusing more on the number and you're saying this number just doesn't look right? It looks beatable, or are you using like the combination of like all the previous situations and the number?
So I'm looking at the number first.
Mm-hmm.
Then another thing that I'll look at, especially this time of year, which is why I love this time of year in college football, is similar matchups. So I'll look at a team like, hey, I think I talked about it in my Iowa State-Utah game. Both of these teams, no, I'm sorry, it was in my, I forgot what game it was in. But anyway, it was two teams that played the same team. Okay. One team put up 59 against them. The other team put up 10 against them. And when I see stuff like that, so that's number two. So I'll look at the number. I'll look at what they did against similar opponents. Then I'll look at the history of those two teams in the past for college football. For NFL, I won't really look at that because NFL every year is a new year.
Moving parts.
College football, trends really do hold true in college football. There are certain teams that just can't travel to a certain stadium and beat that other team.
So just to summarize it for the audience, on 100%, is it 50-50 basically the trends to the number? Or
No,
is it,
I would say trends,
what outweighs
trends
it?
are probably 20%.
20% of the out? Okay, and the rest is on the
But like look at the game me and TK are on. We're both going against a big
UNLV,
trend.
yeah.
We're both going against a big trend. UNLV is like 2-10 in their last 12 games.
I think they're 0-9 in San Jose State.
Something bad. They're 0-9 in San Jose State.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going against a huge trend right there.
So the number on the game must look very interesting to you guys to feel the way you feel about the trend like that.
I think TK would agree. It looks like a 2-touchdown winner in that game.
2-touchdown winner in that game. I actually got my power rating on that game, winning by 5 points in that game. That's why I'm jumping on them.
There you go.
All right, I want to wrap it up.
You mean 5 points over the spread?
5 points over the spread,
Okay.
yeah.
You have another college game, or you done?
I got one more.
Okay, and I got one more, so go right ahead.
This is my game of the week. This is a trend game, but this isn't.
Hold on. Drum roll.
Come on, Ben. You're the drummer.
Game of the week.
We literally have
Boom.
a drummer as a producer, and we can't even get a drum roll.
I tried it, Ben. I did a drum roll.
What was that? A whoopee cushion that broke?
I did.
A broken whoopee cushion.
I just did the drum roll.
There we go.
Game of the week.
Hopefully the microphone caught it. So I'm looking at a team that we've talked about a lot this year on this show. Utah versus Iowa State. This Utah team.
You love that Utah
possibly,
team.
Well, not today. You'll see. Possibly one of the biggest disappointments of the year. Quarterback issues. Their defense isn't what it was supposed to be. Their running game isn't what it was supposed to be. Iowa State 6-3 against the spread, 7-1 against the spread on the road. Now, numbers, they're only allowing 18.6 points per game. They're putting up 31 points per game. Utah, they're only putting up 22 points a game, and Utah's 1-6 against the spread. Iowa State, they don't have a flashy Shadur Sanders, Jackson Dart type quarterback, but they got Rocco Beck, and he is efficient. He gets the job done. Their run game ranks 21st in the college football, the whole thing, not just the conference, the whole thing, 21st in EPA per rush. Okay. And Utah just has one of the worst offenses. It's disgusting. I mean, a defense that's 20th in the league in EPA per play. Last number, talk about more numbers. Utah is -8 in turnover differential. Iowa State is +8 in turnover differential. So that's a 16 turnover differential right there. No matter how you slice this one, guys, Utah comes up short big time. This is blowout alert for me right here.
Lost 6 in a row, too, so they got nothing really to look forward to.
Yeah.
Even if they win this one, They're still under 500. Team expected to do pretty well this year, Utah, and unfortunately ran into a brick wall.
Yeah, and Iowa State's in the hunt right now, so they got a lot to play for.
Yeah, they're playing well. They're playing well. They had an interesting game last week. They finally pulled away at the end. But like you said, 8-2 and playing well against a team that's lost 6 in a row. But it's a big number on the road. But you like it.
I like the big number on. I'm taking a couple big numbers on the road here.
That's your best bet?
That's my favorite bet of the college football week.
All right, I'm going to wrap up college football here for us on the show this week. I'm going to go jumping all over Alabama. I think they blow out Oklahoma. It's the perfect scenario for the Storm to continue and start building their strength into these polls. I think Alabama wants to show the strength and actually try to blow this team out. They average more than 100 yards a game on offense, more than Oklahoma, 451 basically to 354 on, so that's a huge. They're averaging 39 points a game on offense, Alabama, versus 25 on offense for Oklahoma. That's 14-point edge right there. I think Alabama's played as good a teams as Oklahoma's played all year, so you can throw all those factors out the window. And I just see a big difference on both sides of the ball. Alabama's offense is better, their defense is better, they have more to play for. Oklahoma is just not having a good season right now. I'll take that 13 points all day long, leave it at 13. I'll bring it down to 13 if it goes higher. And I think Alabama rolls in this game, wins by 19-26. I see them just looking to continue their ways. They made some changes after they had those two sluggish games back-to-back. Their last few games, they've been just crushing it. Obviously, they blew out they blew out LSU. Basically, they blew out Missouri, and they destroyed Mercer, who they were expected, but they did cover the spread. So right now they're on a nice roll, and I think that roll is going to continue. Alabama, guys, minus 13, winner.
That's a big number on the road, too, but I can't argue with that. We got a lot of SEC on this show. That's 4 SEC matchups on this show. So if you like the SEC, you came to the right place this week.
Well, they're the best teams. They're the best teams in the nation.
the hell was that?
Wow, somebody hit the jackpot on me.
We got sound effects now, baby.
I think I hit the jackpot with Alabama. The money machine went off after we finished saying it. The SEC conference, I agree with you 1,000%. You got probably the best teams in the country all wrapped into the conference, and Big Ten's okay. The other ACC and all these other conferences, but it's all about SEC football. And I think we touched a lot on the college football.
Now we're going to move into NFL.
Yeah.
Before we do, Ben found the drum roll. So bring us into NFL, Ben, with the drum roll.
Was that the drum roll just now? Oh, wow. Cool. That's a nice
We got
drum
a
roll.
real deal drum roll there.
That's a real nice. Hallelujah is right. You know what? And the best part of the hallelujah is if we knock down some winners, because we want to get you guys filled up. We got turkey next week to get stuffed on. We want to stuff you up with some winners this week before Thanksgiving. There you go. Yeah, cha-ching. But I'm going to kick it off with you, Teddy, with the NFL.
Oh, yeah, I got one
Tell me
NFL
what's
game. This is an interesting game here. You got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the New York Football Giants. This is a game, the line opened at 3. Obviously, it's moved more towards the Bucs, most likely because they announced that Daniel Jones is no longer the starting quarterback. Not only is he no longer the starting quarterback, they're moving Daniel Jones to the 4th string, and they're putting Drew Lock, Tommy Cutlets starting, and they're putting Drew Lock ahead of him, and they're putting Boyle ahead of him too. Tim Boyle is going to be the 3rd string. Drew Lock's going to be the 2nd string, and you got Tommy Cutlets. Now, listen, guys, here's the thing. The Buccaneers passing and rushing offense are both top 10 in the league. They're number 3rd red zone offense in the league, number 2 third down offense in the league. And these numbers, even though they lost their 2 star wide receivers, these numbers haven't trailed off that badly. Yes, they've lost 4 games in a row, but their numbers are still looking okay, right? So I'm looking at their numbers
Someone
here.
blowing a horn at us?
I don't know what that is.
I'm hearing a horn out there.
How are we? Is that a sound effect gone bad, Ben? Or is that outside?
No, go ahead.
So their numbers are they're not winning right now, but they were looking good before those receivers got hurt. Mike Evans very well may be coming back this week.
Okay.
He's gotten the rest. He's feeling a little good. The only problem with the Buccaneers is they have the 30th ranked pass defense in the league. So their passing defense isn't good, but guess what? They're going up against Tommy Cutlets, so they don't need to have a great pass
Hey, he
defense.
rallied them last year, though.
He
Remember
did.
when he first came in, they won a couple of games
They
in a row.
went 3-3.
It was overnight. He became an overnight celebrity.
They went 3-3. There was no film on him. There's
Right.
film on him now, so I'm not worried
right.
about him. I'm not worried about that.
All right,
They're-
line is 6. I'm showing.
Yeah, so this line has been flying. It was 5 last night. It was 5.5 when I checked this morning before I came here, and now you're saying it's 6.
Yep.
I really got to think about how I play this one. You know, I might move it from 6 to 5.
Come on, we gave you the drum roll. You got to go with it.
Well, if
right,
I'm-
T?
Yeah,
If
give him
it-
the drum roll
They
and the
gave him the
horn.
drum roll.
Horn
You
was
can't
honking
back
out
out.
there.
you know,
I think they're stealing your car out there, Scott. That's what it was.
Are they telling me to move? They're telling me to move the car. All right.
but yeah, it's a matter of. Let me just check the lines that I have really quickly here because
Well, you
if
can
it's
always
at,
buy it down to
if
5.
it's at 6, I'd probably just buy it to 5.5.
All right, just
But if it's at 5, I'd probably move it. Yeah, it's at 6 on most sports books now. So yeah,
right.
I'd buy it to 5 or 5.5.
all right. Listen, you're going against a shit team. You got a team that Baker's had a hell of a year this year. What he's got,
Oh,
like
yeah.
24 touchdowns and I think it was like 6 interceptions.
Speaking of hell of a year, man, Joe Burrow,
24, 24
career
9.
year with a losing record.
Oh yeah, that was. I don't even want to talk about that game the other night. All right, T. Who we looking in the NFL? Best bet. Come on, let's get a
Well,
winner
I got
to the
2
people.
games in the NFL, but I'll give you my first one here. Denver against the Raiders. You guys know I've been on Denver the last 2 weeks. I'm jumping off them this week, though. I'm going to go with the Vegas Raiders in this game. Current line Denver 5-40, 1.5. Something with the Raiders, man. They just own the Broncos. They're 1-6 their last 7 against the spread against Las Vegas. Denver's 1-8 their last 9 straight up against Vegas. Vegas 8-0 against the spread their last 8 home games against Denver. I'm going to take the points in this one and get paid with the Raiders in this game.
Really?
That's
You're bucking the trends, man. Huh?
Bucking the trends on this one, man. I'm telling you right now. I've used Denver 2 weeks in a row. They cover for me both games, but I'm getting off with them. I'm jumping on the Raiders. I'm taking the points at home.
What do you think they got to look forward to playing though? The Raiders. They're just playing so bad. Where they lost 7 in a row. I guess you just think they're going to come home and try to put something together for the fans.
Well, the Dolphins took care of them the other day, so.
Yeah. No,
They're probably better off losing.
Who, the Raiders? Yeah, as far as draft picks.
I mean, any team in that position right now is better off losing.
All right. Is that your best bet?
My best bet's going to be on something I never use, a Sunday night game in the NFL. I don't know
Oh, you
if
got
you're-
another one?
I got one last game.
Wow,
2 games in it. I came prepared today. I'm going to go in this Philly-Rams game. Philly's, -3 and 50 right now. I'm jumping on the Rams in this one. I'm going to take a nice, what you guys called a nice live dog in this one, plus the 3 points. Rams 7-2 straight up their last 9 games at home. 4-1 their last 5 overall straight up. Philly just 2-6 their last 8 against the spread versus the NFC West.
Loves those numbers.
I'm going to jump on a nice live dog. We're going to, Ben, we got a little barking over there. We got horns going. Can I get a barking for this dog here tonight? We're going to take the Rams on Sunday night. Nice live dog at home on Sunday night against Philly.
All right. Best bet?
Best bet, man. I love this matchup. I want to see the Eagles go down to this game. Rams come out strong and close off Sunday late action.
I got one play I'm putting out in the NFL. I'm not even actually using a game. I'm using a total. I just love the total between the Dolphins and New England. I think this game's going to stay under the 47 points. I see both these teams playing tight. They played tight earlier in the year up in New England. I could see the same type of game, a little more physical. These teams are not the most high-scoring offensive weapon teams in the NFL by far. And I think that total at 47 is a big number in a game like this, and I'm really thinking this game has potential to stay way under that. So I'm going to take the under 47 points on the total. I'd get that line to 47. It might come down even a little bit. I have the feeling that the line on this game is going to come down maybe to 46 or 45.5 as the week progresses. I'd lock in right now, guys, as soon as you see the show. I'd lock in at 47, and I'd play this game under. I think it's going to be a strong under game.
You going to the game?
I might.
Yeah, the weather's going to be beautiful. I think it's going to be the 50s this weekend.
You got-
Yeah, it's going to be nice.
You got the parking
I got the
passes.
parking pass. Well, if you still got your car out there, we got a parking pass.
We got
Yeah, they might be gone.
40. So this game opened up. This is interesting. So it opened up at Westgate and Bet Online at 43.5. It opened up at Bovada and UWager at 45.5. Opened up at Pinnacle at 45, and it's gone up to 46. So you think it's going to come back down? You think people are going to see that line and start betting that under?
I think the game's going to go under, yeah. I think these teams have the potential to play a tight game. They usually do. I mean, the first game was at 15-10 in New England. I'm not comparing that situation to this situation, but now you got Tua back running the show. But I think it's going to be a physical game. I think these teams going to hold each other some field goals instead of touchdowns, and that's going to be the big difference maker. A couple of touchdowns turn into field goals instead of 14. You're talking about 6. That's 8 points right there. And I think that's going to be the difference maker to keep this game under the 47 points.
Dolphins look good right now.
Yeah, they look good.
They move that ball.
I've picked them. I had them against Buffalo. I had them against the Rams. I had them last week as a big play on the show.
No, I thought you were when I saw the game. When I saw you put the game in our chat earlier, I thought you were going to go with them again.
Yeah, no, I you know what? These type of games, you got to throw the records right out the window when these teams play each other, and whoever's doing well versus whoever's not doing well means nothing because they seem to come to they come with pride to play against each other. But I think they're going to play physical, which is going to be a key that I don't think there's going to be a ton of points. I mean, there'll be points, but just not going to go over 47.
Yeah, and this young Drake May looks good. He looks.
He's
solid.
not bad. He's not bad.
Well, you were talking about points. How many points are Detroit going to put up this week against Indianapolis? Over-under is 51.
It's amazing. They might put up 51 themselves.
Yep, they're incredible. That's my Super Bowl pick, man. They're winning.
They're winning the Super Bowl?
They're winning the Super Bowl.
I think someone's beating them.
I'm glad.
I think someone's beating them when it comes down to it.
I'm glad your pick came out. Buffalo took out Kansas City last week. I saw.
No, I picked Kansas City.
You got Kansas City? I thought
Yeah.
I saw a nice memo on that one that said Mahomes comes out with a wheelbarrow of cash.
You know the team that's really interesting to me? I mean, it's no surprise right now, but it was a hell of a surprise 10 weeks ago. This Pittsburgh Steelers team, man, they're just quietly getting the job done. They put in, they took Justin Fields out. A lot of people didn't like that. They thought it was a big mistake to do. Well, since they did that,
Paid off.
4-0. Russell Wilson's doing his thing. They're finding ways. Yeah, they only kicked 6 field goals, but they moved the ball against Baltimore. You don't really need a lot of points when you got you got a great defense like the Steelers.
But then they're going to come into Cleveland on Thursday night. Cleveland probably beat them. So Cleveland plays them tough, man. The line's 3.5 in that game right now. Cleveland plays that team
Jameis
tough.
Winston, famous Jameis.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. I'm not sold on that one. What about you?
I'd probably take the points in that game.
I know you had that tape on with his little interview, but
He's not.
He's not all there.
He's not doing the
Well,
job.
as I was saying, did you see the meme with the meme or whatever you call it with Mahomes?
No.
He wheels in he's got a bunch of referees around him. He said it should cover us for the rest of the year with all the cash in it. Because they didn't get the calls last week. But
What'd you think of that game with Buffalo? I mean, that was a pretty cool game. I mean, it went back and forth. It could have, I was surprised. I don't know what you guys thought on that 4th and 2.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, if you don't make that 4th and 2 Buffalo, they're up 2 points. There's 2 minutes left with Mahomes having they stop them. Now they go down. They didn't go for the field goal. They go for the touchdown.
You know why?
Let
me tell you why?
That's a ballsy call.
Yeah, but I think it's an easy call because here's the thing: if you get that field goal and
you still got to give him the ball.
Mahomes is scoring a touchdown and you're going to lose by 2. Mark my words, no
Right.
questions
Well,
asked.
of course.
And that's it right there. Mahomes is so good that he makes people do crazy things.
Yeah, he makes them think differently.
Yeah.
Of course. But I'm just saying, if you think about it, 4th and 2. Yeah, I understand 5 doesn't really probably mean much because if he's going to drive down there, he's probably going to drive down there to get the winning touchdown. So the 5 means really nothing. So, yeah, it was a great call. Don't get me wrong. But that was the decider. But if they did stop him, that could have been the difference on the point spread and everything because Buffalo was 2.5. That could have changed the complexion of the betting of that game. I was hoping it would have changed it because I had KC +3. But that's it. What can you do? No undefeateds left, guys. So it's going to get interesting right now. Who do you think is the number 1 team in the NFL right now? TK thinks it's Detroit. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, Detroit Lions. No questions
Detroit?
asked.
No problem.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of agree with you on Detroit, but the sleeper for me is this Pittsburgh Steelers team. They're sleepers because they don't need a lot on offense because they got that unbelievable defense, and that defense can cause a team even like Detroit to make mistakes, and they can capitalize. Pittsburgh's a team of capitalizes more than any other team over the years. All right, guys.
Well, real quick, let me just say, for me, sleeper team, I'm looking at this, and I know you love them because you love. I'm looking at this Green Bay team. This Green Bay team is like.
Well, they got lucky last week.
Yeah.
They're like the Pittsburgh.
I don't know about them now.
But they're like the Pittsburgh. To me, they're like the Pittsburgh of the NFC. And this week is going to be a big test for them. They play San Fran in Green Bay.
Well, San Fran isn't the quarterback out for San Fran. Purdy, didn't he get hurt?
Yeah, he's. I don't know if he's playing.
I think he's going to play.
I think he is questionable to play. Yeah, this week. Yeah.
It's going to be a good game though, especially if he
San
plays.
Fran's having a tough season, but they got listen.
They blew that game last week against Seattle.
Yeah, a lot of injuries. Came back. Yeah, they should have never lost that game last week. Geno Smith last second, I guess, touchdown. He's the type of guy that can he can crush you too. Geno Smith either doesn't show up when you need him, or he makes these crazy plays and beats you. So he's another interesting quarterback in the NFL. All right, guys, I think we had a great show. We hit the limit. We went all overboard today, touching on college basketball, NBA, college football,
Sound
NFL.
effects.
Sound effects. My car being taken right out of here before my eyes. I hear the horns blowing. Oh, and now we got some clapping going. There you go. I love it. The audience approved. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. I want everyone at TK. I'm going to start with you. I want you to let the audience know where they can find you on social media and get your stuff. You're putting out games every day. You put out free stuff. You put out private stuff. How can they reach you?
You can just go right to my website, tkwins.com. I'm going to have some specials up there for the holiday time. And if you want to see me on social media, just go right to @tkwins.com and Instagram. We put the specials up there daily, free plays daily. You can check us out there and get our top stories daily.
All right, excellent. And, of course, my man over here, the one and only Teddy Brooks from the Sports Prophets. How can the people check you out and find out what's going on a daily basis and be tight with what you're doing?
There you go. So you can go to thesportsprophets.com, or you can go to that Instagram right there, _prophets_pick, no S after pick. There's another Instagram out there with an S after pick. It's not us. They're using our videos, but it's not us. You can also go to
still doing it.
Oh yeah, more and more.
Huh?
I get people calling me, telling me they like, who's this guy, and I just say, nah, just us. Block and report.
There you go.
You can go to youtube.com/@thesportsprophets. That's our YouTube channel, and just go to our page, message us, email us, or just sign up, put in your name
free
and
picks
number.
daily, right?
Free picks daily.
And private service games.
Private service games.
All right, guys, check these guys out. Listen, you can find me. I'm Scott Matthews. I host this show. Get the Edge is the show, and you can find me on my social media, and you can find me on TikTok, SM Picks. That's SM Picks, Picks. Check it all out. Put out stuff all the time for free. Offer you guys some different opportunities out there to get that winning edge. And also on Instagram, my official page for Instagram is SM Sports Picks, Picks. Check it all out. We're here to help you. We're here to give you that winning edge. Holidays are coming. We're looking for some good things to come up next week. We are doing a show next week before Thanksgiving, so we will have, I believe we are doing a show next week, right? Yep. We're going to have a show up next week for Thanksgiving, so check it out. The way to check out our show, it's called Get the Edge. We're on Apple, Spotify. We have our own YouTube channel, which is Get the Edge Sports Podcast. Click and subscribe. Check out everything we do. We're here to give you that edge, and we're looking to help you build your bankroll. Have a great day today, guys. Enjoy the games. We gave you a lot of them. Take notes, and we'll see you back here next week. Boom.
I think I'll wear my Santa suit in a couple weeks myself.
There you go. Maybe a big turkey outfit next week.
Are we bringing in Thanksgiving dinner?
I think so.
Stuff?